Justice in Teacher Education in the Master of Teaching program at the Ontario Institute for Studies in Education at U of T. He is presently the Teaching and Learning Coordinator and the Coordinator for the Black Future Educators program. As of May 1st, he is the newly appointed Director of the Center for Black Studies in Education. So a round of applause for that.
If you come into class, you're good to go.
He presently teaches courses in anti-discrimination education, leadership, educational change, urban education, and Black educators' identity and pedagogy. He's presented at numerous conferences and has delivered many presentations as a keynote speaker, motivational speaker, and workshop facilitator. So without further ado, I'm going to pass it over to DR.ABC. Let's give him another round of applause.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You know, I have 20 minutes, and please give me 5 minutes when I'm 5 minutes out. Right. But you know what? I walked in here and I was just talking about the programs, and something just really, impacted me with just what I felt, the energy I felt when I came in, and the love and the hugs and the greetings. Nothing is more important than having a sense of belonging.
Yes.
Absolutely nothing. I'm going to tell you something. I'm already off script, but that's my gift. When I have to speak through me, absolutely, I do what I need to do. My number one, I do a lot of work. If you can Google me, and I'm not saying that to be cute, I mean it. Right? I'll tell you a story about that another time. When somebody asked me in the airport, "Who do you think you are?" And I said, "Google me." She looked at me, she goes, "Okay." She did, right there. She was like, "Okay." But I'm saying this for a reason. My number one most requested keynote or topic with every single school board organization you could think of is about belonging. People are realizing in this work of equity, EDI, anti-oppressive practice, whatever you want to call it, people are not feeling a sense of belonging. And when you can be at a place, be in a space, and you feel a sense of belonging, feels like home, somehow it feels like I'm okay to be here, that is important. And so I want us to realize when I talk about flourishing all our identities, there is no way any one of us could flourish if we do not feel a sense of belonging. I want you to understand, that's why it came to me. So when I came to the door, I pressed the buzzer on the outside and I said to myself who I was. I said, "Oh, welcome." That is a sense of belonging. And I want to speak to all of us, and those of us who will listen to this video, because we're going to give a copy of the video to the house, to look at it later and to ask yourself, how am I doing when it comes to creating that space of belonging? And I'm not talking about making a good, beautiful room, painted yellow, warm colors, friendly colors, so people could feel safe. That is cute. But when the persons are using the space, can they genuinely say, I feel a sense of belonging? And so I want to use that as my anchor as we talk this morning, this afternoon, about flourishing all our identities. And I'm very in particular about this slide. I've been using this slide for about 3 years. And you may say, well, Dr. Campbell, maybe you're lazy. No, I'm not. Oh, you better believe it. I'm very good at what I do. Oh, I could create a new PowerPoint every day if you want me to. But I know I understand the power of this message. Flourishing in all our identities. Because it takes me back to my own days in school as a 10-year-old child. Going to Kingston College in Jamaica, one of the biggest all-boys schools with thousands, a matter of fact, 2,500 boys. And I remember my fear at the bus stop. And it didn't occur to me until about a year and a half ago I had a conversation, and it dawned on me that I was late to school many days. Not because I was just late, but because I stood at the bus stop waiting for the crowd of boys to go, because I was in fear. Bullying is real. It is real. Name calling was real. Fear was real. Imagine going to school to learn, to become your best self, to be amazing, to be fabulous, only to realize the place you're going for that nourishment, that nurturing, that education, you are afraid of that space. understand flourishing in all our identity is extremely important. And I'm very particular about the idea that when I was having a conversation about coming here, for us to understand, it's Pride Month. Mm-hmm. It's Pride Month. And let me say this on the word just slipped me, but don't worry, I got you. Let me just say this. Maybe the word's supposed to slip me. If you see me out at Blackorama, you see me out at any event, you see me out at the 519 Green Space, guaranteed I'm not going to be looking like DR.ABC. All my pum-pum shots already on the bed up. I'm dead serious. Oh, this is for the camera.
I got it.
I'm going to tell you why I'm saying that to you. Because I want you to understand when you see me outside and people go, oh my God, DR.ABC, you're so bold, you're so strong, you're so whatever. Absolutely. I walk in a certain privilege. Come on now.
Yes.
Because when we talk about privilege, people get funny.
Yeah.
When we talk about white privilege, people get funny.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we have to come back for another workshop. I'm a black man, immigrant black man from Jamaica, saying to you, I walk in a certain level of privilege. Mm-hmm. I have privilege of financial stability. Mm-hmm. I have privilege of a beautiful home that I can go to any time. Come on, Keys. I have privilege of title.
Yep.
I have letters behind my name. Oh, come on, letters. I have privilege of association. So I want you to understand we do walk in privilege. Now, here is my beautiful question. Get ready for this. How do you and how do we all use whatever privilege we have to create belonging, allow others to flourish, create space, create access, share kindness, share empathy? Because some of us, we have the privilege of having a whole bit of love, whole bucket of love. Many of us, when I say privilege, I don't just mean money and access. Some of you have privilege of heart. You've never heard that before. It's from me. There are people in this room, I don't know why my emotions are shifting. There are people in this room that have so much love. When you see them, you guarantee you're getting some of that. And there are others of us, we are dried on love because we have been through so much. We don't have enough. There are some of us, we have so much grace inside of us. The ancestors are telling me to say this, I have to go off script again. There are people, remember, there's a privilege of love and kindness and grace and mercy that some of you have. I want to tell you thanks because you're full of that. You're a whole full of love and you are able to pour into others that some of us can't do. So thank you for that. So when I put this up, I want you to understand there's going to be a celebration. There's going to be pom-pom shots. There's going to be flags and all the different things. There's going to be the most. And I do the most. Come on now. But I want you to understand, this started as a protest. We are able to enjoy. I never will forget. And I am very mindful that I get to live my best life. I get to do the most. I get to walk in a boot and a jeans and do every single thing without fear. But it wasn't so for me in Jamaica. I remember going home, and I remember calculating what I should wear, what I should not wear. Is this too tight? Is this too short? Is this too high? Does it make me look gay? Okay, let me keep my hand, let me man it up. Imagine living like that constantly. Constantly. How are you going to flourish if you're so distracted trying to survive? I tell people, well, it's hard for us to flourish when we're constantly in survival mode. How do we get from survival to thrive? And I look at the space, and I'm going to tell you thanks, and I walk through, I'm going back to this. I'm not saying this to be nice. I walk through the space, and I smile. I smell the food. The kitchen is where I came through. Come on, lunch. I smell the food. And I go, wow, somebody gets to sit, have lunch, take a break, just to be. And not after outside, always trying to defend and to pretend and to perform and to adjust. What a space to be in. And you are creating this space at Covenant House, and I want to tell you thanks for creating this space. So I want you to understand that when you are in this space, use it. There's a quote that I have there from an associate professor talking about pride is political. It stretches beyond the rainbow capitalism. Everybody's selling a flag, a t-shirt, a cup, a bowl, or something. I get it. But remember, why we showed up. There's enough going on for us to show up. I'm going to tell you a story because my spirit needs to say that again. A couple months ago, I was at Queen's Park when they had a march, trans march and towards LGBTQ, and I showed up as a professor. I left school and I went down there and I was doing the most. I was, and I was marching and I was living my best life and I was standing up for justice and standing up and doing the most. And all of a sudden, I started to cry. Oh, I was like, I crossed the street. I needed a breath. I couldn't believe I was there at Queen's Park, pushing, standing up, breaking a silence. I couldn't believe this little boy from Jamaica, this little sissy boy, this little boy was teased. This little boy who went to ballet class at the age of 11 for the first time, and the ballet teacher said, "You are beautiful. I can see the ballet in you." And I ran on to tell my mother, and she said, "Baby, you can't go to ballet class." Many of us, our dreams have been snatched from us. I love my mom. I can tell you why she did that. She did that to protect me. I was already the little sissy boy. I was ready girly. I was ready. I had all kind of things on my back. And she was like, "No, we don't want the leotard to have to this." And so, with love, some of you don't understand it, with love, she pulled me away from something that I could have shined. I always ask myself, what if I had gone to ballet class? Maybe you would have had me today. You have to buy a $500 ticket to see me as a prima ballerina. You better come on stage and light an action. And that dream was snatched. How many of us have dreams that are snatched constantly because we cannot be who we are? So we have to flourish in our identity. And I want to leave you with this statement. I love this for a reason. So it's Ida Hot 2020. There's 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. I'm sure you all have all the slides. But I am stuck on 2020. Because so much happened in 2020. And we were inside our houses. But somebody said, let us break the silence. Because they realized the silence had damaged and hurt and harmed so many of us. And as we break the silence, we talk about telling our stories. So remember, in breaking the silence, you have to tell your stories. You have to claim space. Claim space. You may look at me and say, "Dr. Campbell, you're 6'4", you have such a big personality." I'm going to tell you something. I can remember days that I wish I was invisible. I have gone to places and schools and events, and I walk through I come into the building like this. I can come into this building and I go, shit. I have to pass everybody to come to the front to take a seat. The struggle of walking from the door just to have a seat. Some of you know that. I'm not telling a story that some of you don't know. They're going to look at you. Why is he wearing? What is he wearing? What does he look like? Why is he walking? And it's a struggle. You fight so much to get from the door to the seat. So we have to learn to claim space. That's why for me, I do the most. Some people are very troubled by me doing the most. And I say to them, 2024, I am doing the most. 2025, I'm doing the most test. 2026, I don't even know what's going to happen. We have to have a new word for most and most test. Maybe most test square power. Come on, maths class. And I want you to understand my showing up, watch me carefully, is a part of my resistance. When I leave here and I go to maybe to a restaurant or a supermarket or whatever, I go in just like this. I go in on purpose. And everybody looking around, I want them to see it's pride, it's blackness, it's my intersections. So I want you to understand, you have to establish your voice. I'm going to tell you a quick story. Some of you know maybe the drag queen. I'm going to make a thing. One of you know drag queen on the right. That's Manga Lassie, and from Mrs. Brampton area. And on the left is a quadruple drag race contestant. I'm going to tell you a quick story about that. I was asked to make a speech at a particular university, and they called me to warn me because before, 2 weeks before, somebody had come and talked about Muslim people and being gay, and there was a big to-do-ment. We have to be honest about the intersections, and that's the intersectionality. That's different. Our intersections. I am black, I am male, I am an immigrant, I am educated, I am a teacher, I am somebody's son, I am somebody's brother, I am somebody's uncle, I am also Christian. All those are intersections and parts of us. And when you say, oh, you can't be Muslim and be gay, what you have done is to try to erase somebody's identity. I know what I went through in church. If I start the church conversation, some of you can't manage it. Sitting on a choir in a church, directing 250 voices, tearing up the place. Come on, Mike. And when I'm finished, I'm sitting down. I have done so much. Only to be reminded that I may be demon-possessed. And I'm nasty. And Jesus loved everybody but except you. Imagine in a place where you give so much feeling like you are nothing. I said this to somebody and I feel like I'm speaking to somebody about this personally. I said it at an event the other day. I went to church for belonging, for protection, for love, for care, for kindness, for all that they said church had. There's a song we sing back home in church that said, I came to Jesus just as I was, weary, worn, and sad. But I'm going to tell you this. I left church because of the same reason. Because I was sitting in a place where I was weary, worn, and sad. I know that resonates with somebody. Because many of us, we come from the intersection of religion and sexuality. I was at the march the other day for refugees, two churches ago. And I'm saying this why I say that the church example is very, very intentional. Because I want North American persons who may not understand religion is part of the oxygen that many of us come from.
Yes. Yep.
I want to make sure you understand that. That's all some of those refugees, all they know. I'm telling you that facts. So that is us to figure out how do you make that balance, that transition, that equity, or that inclusion. So I want you to ensure you are heard. And I want to tell you the truth. And then I want to leave you with this. I want you to find yourself. It's your time. You can take a picture of any yourself, take a picture of me. It's all right, should I tell you that? It's okay. Pictures are fine. Pictures are fine. Find your resilience. I have to find my resilience still. Oh yes. I get some look, you would not believe it. I always tell people on the one, I'm so glad I walk in power. Because if I wasn't, they would treat me like I was garbage. And I've said that publicly many times. I've seen people look at me like, he doesn't belong here. Why is he here? Why did you invite? And then they realize, oh, okay, I guess he's a professor or he's a speaker. But as I did say, I walk in certain privilege. So I want you to find your resistance, find your hope. For me, this is a big one. A lot of people don't like the word hope. They're like, oh my God, I want to talk about hope. It's so pretty, pretty, pretty. Hope is powerful. If you don't have hope, it's done. Dreams and hope. I could do an entire workshop on dreams and hopes and tell you all about the resistance work. Tell you all about what happened with our ancestors, with my ancestors I should say, and tell you about how we were constantly holding on to hope. That is why that idiot in Florida could be spreading rumor that slavery was some kind of benefit because they even sang. If I could tell you what a Negro spiritual is and why our ancestors sing, that was to holding on to dear life. It was hope that soon will be done with the trouble of the world, like one of the songs. It's something you ask. So I'm going to ask you this question. What is it that you are holding on to when you have your hope? What is the hope you're holding on to? How are you stirring up your own hope? You need to have hope and dreams and know that one day you will. That is something you have to keep fire on the inside. Find your strength. Find your people. Oh, that's very big. Find your people. Find the people who love you. Find the people who smile when they see you coming. Find the people who wave and shout out your name when they see you coming and say, hey, I'm over here, waiting for you. Find the people who save a chair at the table for you. Find those people. Find your voice. That joy, find your joy. Find your joy. Find your happiness. Two different things. I know you said, I can't be well, you could just make it 9. You could make it 9. You're doing too much. It didn't have to be 10. You could just mix joy and happiness together. I could not. Two different things. Happiness, we can have an occasion here where we are happy. And you do things to make me happy. You see, joy, it's different. It's that inside action. It's that deep down on the inside. It's that matter of fact. It is that in spite of. It's that joy that you have to nurture. Joy is just not automatic. You have to nurture that, protect that, take care of that joy. And that's why I separate them and find your power. You are not powerless. Let nobody say you are, and do not think you are. We use labels and titles to sort people, right? Somebody has to be VIP, so they could sell an extra ticket. Somebody has to be regular. Somebody has to sit up front. Somebody has to sit at the balcony. Somebody has to be student. Somebody has to be teacher. Somebody has to be doctor. So somebody be patient. Somebody, and they categorize us. Capitalism does that. You are immigrant. You are refugee. I mean, all of us could be called immigrants, but somebody has to separate it. Well, you are refugee. You are this. You are undocumented. You are this. You are this, you are this, you are skilled. I came here, skilled worker. Oh, I could tell you a story another time about that. We came into skilled worker category, and half of the skilled workers could get jobs in their skill. So do not worry about the labels they place on you. Think about the power you have to break from those labels. If I had walked, I'm going to close now. If I had walked in the titles and the labels they give to me, I wouldn't be here. I wouldn't be here. So you have to know that you have the power. You have the absolute power. And you're going to use your power. You have the absolute power. Use your power. Find yourself. Find your resilience. Find your resistance. Find your hope. Find your strength. Find your people. Find your voice. Find your joy. Find your happiness. And find your power. Thank you so much.